Please bear with me while I tell you a sad story about the United Nations. It remains an institution to which I am ideologically committed, but I feel as though that commitment is betrayed with unwelcome regularity. Back on December the 1st, 2016, Ban Ki-moon, the then Secretary General, in the last month of his 10-year tenure, in an unprecedented way, apologized to the people of Haiti for the failure of the United Nations to deal adequately with the cholera epidemic, an epidemic that had killed 10,000 people and 800,000 additional people fell ill. Of course, what Ban Ki-moon didn't do, as he never did, was to admit that the cholera epidemic had been brought to Haiti by United Nations peacekeeping forces from Nepal. Around the time of the apology, as the UN was pulling itself together, there was announced a $400 million fund from the United Nations to address the consequences of cholera. $200 million would go to water and sanitation to end the prospect of cholera forever, and $200 million would go to individuals and families and communities through what they called material assistance in order to deal with the grievous consequences of the cholera. Well, the results of that fundraising effort are in last week up to this point, and here they are. The UN has raised $8.7 million, that is to say, 2.2% of the total. And if you throw in some additional money from Canada and Japan, which went to United Nations agencies rather than to the government of Haiti, you get to 3.9%. It's a complete travesty. That's what I mean by a betrayal. But what is even more painful is that Ban Ki-moon lied, and he knew he was lying. He had never told the truth about the source of the cholera through the previous 6 years, as people begged him to do so. He was always hiding behind the principle of immunity for the United Nations. But he knew when he made the apology that the $400 million would never be raised. As a matter of fact, he said at the time that if the money couldn't come voluntarily from governments, he would consider applying it through the assessed contribution, that is to say, the core budget of the United Nations. But of course, that never happened either. And now the new Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, has made a couple of excellent rhetorical speeches, but has never put his shoulder to the wheel to raise the money that Haiti so desperately needs. You know, there's a kind of sickness that is beginning to pervade the overall leadership of the United Nations. The need for principled, ethical, and intellectual behavior is somehow constantly wanting. And we need it badly. And it's just not there. That was last week. I'm Stephen Lewis.